Hey folks, my apologies. I was a little bit late running around trying to get things done. I need to create some papers here and get us ready. Let's see here. Sometimes best intentions are not as successful as you wanted them to be. Let's see here. To my inventory screen. I have to get us together just a little bit here. To do that, I have to go blind with you guys. I can't really see what's going on there right now. Okay. This is going to be a coin roll hunt 74. It's an original roll reveal of a 1950s Lincoln cent roll. This is going to be our feature roll of this week because it's our oldest and most valuable. You try to get us to a point where I can got to be able to create our, let's see, what did I do here? I am not ready, as you can see, but we will be here in just a minute. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. I was working on a couple of things that I was trying to do to get ready to go to a show tomorrow. I'm going to be going to a show in South Carolina tomorrow. I'll be at the Spartanburg show. It's going to be a relatively small show, but I have reasons for being there. I'm trying to network with some of the people in this area to see where I can go with regard to getting more goodies. Okay, I'm going to call your names out and let you know that you are in. Adam Chambers will get 3 spots. Let me know if I do any of this wrong. Chuck Patillo gets 2 spots. Deanne gets 3 spots. Eric Beyer gets 5 spots. And Farm Dog gets 2. Mr. Fletcher gets 5. Yeah, I'm beating my keyboard up. I always tell it I'm sorry when I'm finished. J.O.B. gets 2. Although, you know, it's really funny that I am a little heavy on my keyboard, but I use the same keyboard for about 9 years. The lettering was just about to wear off of it. Joe McBride gets 5 spots. Madding gets 2 spots. And Marshall gets 5. Two-thirds done. Paul Hampton will get 3 spots. And there's 1, 2, and 3. And Rudy Alfaro gets 1. Shannon will get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you're listening for your name and you hear something that sounds incorrect, let me know. Stephen Elliott gets 2. And is that all? Oh, wait a minute. Silver Nitrate gets 5. AUNO3, AGNO3. It looks like I'm 1 off. Wonder why I'm 1 off. Rudy, Shannon, Silver Nitrate, Stephen Elliott. Paul Hampton got 3. New Marshall. Madding gets 2. Did I put Madding in for 2? Yes, I did. Joe McBride gets 5. JOB gets 2. Jim Fletcher gets 5. Ah, that's what I did. And put Jim Fletcher in for 5. I only got him in there for 4. So now we've got him in there for 5. This is going to be reveal number 74. And now I'm going to print. Range page 1. Okay, so now that's going to print. And I'll be able to cut the bits that we need to pull out of the bag to get your names all straight. I get everything set up here so that I can actually see you guys and see what's going on. Let's see here. There we go. That's where I am. How about that? Pop out my chat. Get back to live chat. Guys, make sure you're on live chat because that's the only way that you're going to be able to keep up with everything that's going on. Looks like we've got quite a busy chat today. People probably yelling at me for being late. Let's see. 7 degrees. Oh my gosh. It's warmed up to 25 and up to 16. Man. Okay, let me go grab it. See, this is what it looks like before I actually cut it up. And then now I'm going to cut it. Okay. That's the last of my disappearing act for the day. I am just about ready to go. You guys are seeing me do a lightning fast preparation. I watch my fingers. I do watch my fingers very carefully when I'm doing this stuff. There's that. Here's my bag. And my roll. That's not the one. I am doing the 50S roll right now. Correct? Here's my 50S roll. Here's all of my little things. I got one in there for the wrapper itself, which the wrapper is not in the best condition. I would hope for a little bit better, but didn't quite get it. We'll do our best with it, though. I'll go ahead and open the roll using my nifty little plastic tool for roll opening. It's a little tool that was invented for opening iPhone screens. And it works perfectly for doing original bank wrap rolls of pennies. All you gotta do is pull outward on the paper, and because it's plastic, it has nothing to do with the coins, and they come right apart. Okay, so I'm gonna do wrapper over the coins just like I usually do. Oops, get these two little guys stacked back up there. I had a little minor blowout, and I gotta figure out which order they were in. There we go. Okay. And it's my little minor blowout coming because the wrapper was a wee bit torn. Okay, there's a wrapper off to the side. And here's my presumably 50 coins. And I'm going to draw for the first coin in the roll. Chuck Daughtrey. I'm going to go ahead and write the number on the other side of the flip insert. I'll get the right pen for that. This one's about to dry up. Okay, so Chuck Daughtrey gets the first coin in the roll. Let's take a look and see what we've got. Of course, we have a roll ender here, and the outside ends of the roll was not as well preserved as some of the coins in the middle, I'm sure. Let's see what we have here. I'm not really seeing anything, but I am seeing a lot of good markers. We've got a lot of die scratches running north and south. We are looking for pretty much anything on this. However, 1950S, I do believe, is known for its double die obverse. I think there's a decent double die obverse for that. Let's see. I'm going to go take a look here real quick. Hang on just a minute. I want to get myself acclimated so I know exactly what I'm looking for. I'm telling you, I'm not prepped today. No DDO listings for 1950S. No DDR listings for 1950S. So essentially what we're looking for is repunch mint marks or the possibility we may discover something new as far as double dies are concerned. We've done it before. Doesn't mean we can't do it again, right? And happy Valentine's Day to you too. Today is the 14th of February, a day of celebration for all your love relationships and all of your love-hate relationships. Okay, Mr. Patillo has his coin right there. Coin number 1. Now for coin number 2. Coin number 2 will belong to silver nitrate. I have to solve this problem. Let's see. That marker needs to go in the garbage. There we go. Silver nitrate gets coin number 2. Oh, nice RPM, I do believe. Yes, we do have a nice RPM. Okay, all of my my RPM fanatics out there need to help me out with this one. It's got a little hit on the S, but it does have a very nice double lower serif. Let me get the light turned up for you so you can actually see what we're looking at here. A very nice double lower serif. And I'm looking at what appears to maybe be an extra curve to the west. So this appears to maybe be a S over S west. Get that light just a little bit brighter for you. Make it a little bit easier to see. I don't know, what do you think? I'm looking at an S over S west, I do believe. Let's get the approximation to the date together so we can see what we're doing here. It's definitely going to be die number 1 for the day. It's going to be our die number 1 as we are searching. But I don't know which RPM this one is specifically. Let me go check and see if I can come up with a really quick listing. 1950S. This is not number 1, 2, not number 3, 4, 5, not number 6, not number 7, or 8, or 9. It's not number, it could be number 10. This could be number 10. It's not 11, not 12. It could be 13, could be 10 or 13. I don't think it's 13 though. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know which one it is though. But we can take this and know that we have a nice RPM that we're finding in this roll so far. Let me see if I can find a good marker for us to use. Let me find a good marker that will sustain through the entire roll, that we can make sure that we know what we're looking at when we see it. Let's see. Ah, there we go. Nice heavy die scratch west of the 1, going up to the beard. And then there's another die scratch. Looks like it goes from the 9 into the vest. So it goes from the 9 downward into the vest. So that's going to be our best markers for this particular die. And so we will stick that one aside for silver nitrate. Let's go ahead and take a look at the reverse real quick. I forgot to do that. Let's take a look at the reverse and see if we have anything on the reverse worth mentioning. Well, we do have... What is that? Is that... That's interesting. Looks like it could be a hit, but there's also color difference in the coin. It looks like a planchet crack. Or possibly lamination, but it looks more like a planchet crack because it only goes... It appears to just go straight down into the coin. It doesn't appear to be a flaking issue. Plus, I don't see any of it ribboned across the coin. It's just in that one area toward the edge. So that's what it looks like, a little bit of a planchet crack. It's interesting. Okay, that is coin number 2 for silver nitrate, and we're going to put it aside as die number 1 for the day, and we're going to draw for the next person's coin. I'm going to go to Farm Dog. Farm Dog will get coin number 3, and let's see what's on coin number 3. Dun, dun, dun. I don't really quite have my focus together 100% on this one. There we go. Hey, Paula. Happy Valentine's Day to you, too. I'm just trying to get myself acclimated to these mint marks. A little bit difficult to tell whether this one might be an RPM or not. Sometimes the later die state, they are a little bit difficult to pick out because the doubling in the serifs and along the edges can be a wee bit difficult to visualize without getting close enough to actually see it. I'm thinking this is a normal mint mark. So we have a normal coin here. Let's see what kind of markers we can pull off of this so that we'll know that we're running a specific number of dies. It looks like a die scratch, an angled die scratch above the 0 of the date. What else do we have here that will help? A heavy die scratch south out of the E and between the RT of Liberty. That one will be easy enough to figure out. Hey, Starbuck. We've got some pretty nice stuff coming out of this roll so far. I mean, it's pretty nice, decent looking coin. So I'll just use that as my marker. Just die scratches south out of Liberty. And we'll go to the reverse and see what comes up on the reverse side. Let's see if we come up with any more of those cracked planchets. At least that's what it looked like. So cracked planchet. It was definitely sunken into the coin, so it's not a die crack. It would be pretty much just the opposite. See, there's a little issue just on the top of the D there of United. Part of that's planchet related and part of it looks like a hit. So it's kind of hard to tell one way or the other. Okay. Could you imagine, like, when we open rolls of 2020 Lincoln Cents, we see that 2020. That's the first time we've ever seen a 2-0 and a 2 together like that on a coin. Just imagine back in 1950, that was the first time they ever saw a 1-9 and a 5 together. Joe McBride gets the next coin. It's coin number 4. There's Joe McBride's name. Coin number 4 is now on the skid. And we have a nice doubled mint mark. Really nice one. I don't believe this is the same die as the previous. This is a new die for us today. It's not making itself very readily obvious unless you're at this angle right here. And you can see that really nice wide split in the lower serif. There it is with a little bit more magnification, a little easier to see. This one looks like it's going to be an S over S east because the doubling looks like it's on the inside of the upper curl instead of the outside. And it's closer to the 5 by a measurable distance than the 9. The last one was pretty much equidistant to the 9 and the 5. And that's one of the major ways that you can tell the difference between different mint marks, because your mint marks were put in by hand and they're not going to be in the same place twice. Not likely. Oh, it does, doesn't it? That needs to be changed. This is reveal number 74. And this is a 1950 S roll. Thank you for that. There. Much, much easier for me to go back and tell what I'm doing if I've got my title in there properly. All right, so we know this is another die. We need to find ourselves good markers. We have an angled die scratch coming down into the Y of Liberty. That is a decent marker. There's a little bit of a spot on this coin. I don't like using die scratches exclusively as my markers because die scratches can be polished down. And die scratches can become a little bit... There's a die crack running right across the hair, above the ear and into the forehead. So I'm going to use that. So that die scratches, if you use die scratches for every coin in a roll, you're going to become confused as to, well, which die scratches was this one? And so I can use a combination of a die scratch coming down into the Y of Liberty along with the fact that it has a die crack running across the head as my determining factor for this wide lower serif split mint mark that's closer to the 5 than the 9. So we'll call that die number 2 for the day. And so now we have two different repunch mint marks that we're dealing with so far out of 4 coins. So we're killing it so far. All right. Next one. We go to Paul Hampton. Paul Hampton gets coin number 5. And let's see what coin number 5 gives us. We have another RPM. This one is a split lower serif RPM that shows extra curve on the inside. So this is an S over S East. This is the same as the first die we pulled out, so it is an East, not a West. I think this is the same as the first die we pulled out. It may not be. In fact, I don't think it is. Let me bring that one back out, take a quick look at it. Okay, our reminder on that one is that it goes from the chin to west of the 1. So there is a die scratch from the chin to the west of the 1. Let's see if the same thing holds true here. No, this is a different die. So this one has a really heavy die scratch running just west of the mint mark, and it also has one coming up into the bottom of the 9. Then we have one that looks like it had a screech halt going from, between the 9 and 5 going straight north. We got a bunch of stuff. It looks almost like a Hannibal Lecter mouth. We got a cage over his mouth. A lot of heavy die scratches running north and south on this one. So it's going to be pretty easy for us to be able to determine what this is later. But I'm going to zoom in, take a closer look at the mint mark, because I do believe that this is a nice East RPM. Because I saw what looked like evidence of an extra curve on the inside of the S. So we're going to tilt it this way to take a look at it, and yes, we do. We do have a nice East RPM. What you're doing when you're doing RPM direction, you're looking at the direction you have to travel from the main mint mark to get to the secondary mint mark. So from the main mint mark, which is the one that stands out the farthest, you have to travel east to get to the secondary mint mark. So this is an S over S East. So this is going to be die number 3 for the day. I'm not going to bother trying to look it up. It is definitely going to be a listable die if it isn't listed already. But it is going to be die number 3 for the day, and we're only into 5 coins in this roll, and we've already got 3 different RPMs. I knew this would be a productive roll. Silver Nitrate gets the next coin in the roll. It's going to be coin number 6. Silver Nitrate gets coin number 6. Let's take a look at it and see what it has on it. Oops. Coin number 7 decided to fall over with it, so I've got to stand it back up. Keep some simile of order going on here. Oh, this is yet another RPM. This one looks like it could match the previous RPM that we had. Let me back out a little bit and see what our markers look like. Man, this thing's just loaded. This roll is loaded, chock-a-block full of RPMs. This is yet another different die. This looks like we are going to turn into a die number 4 for the day. We have very heavy die scratches running through the lower vest. Only kind of hitting the high points down there. The high points on the die, which are going to be the low points on the coin. This very well illustrates what happens when you scratch something across the higher relief on a die and then turn over and mint it into a coin. Basically what you're going to have is lines that poke out on the lower relief areas of the die, or of the coin, I'm sorry. And so we have a nice East RPM. Let's take a look at the reverse and see what we come up with on the reverse. We're lacking just a little bit of luster on some of these coins, so we're going to be at a lower end of the uncirculated spectrum on this. Is probably going to be a choice BU coin, MS63 red. And so that is going to be yet another die for the day. So we are on our 4th different RPM for today in 6 coins. It's almost unbelievable. Adam Chambers is going to get the next coin. It's going to be coin number 7. Adam Chambers will get coin number 7. Here we go. And here's the coin. And that will be... looks like it might be an RPM. A little hard to tell at this angle. Let me keep taking a look around and see what we see. Come back to it. Zoom in on it. See what happens. Yeah, late die state. It's a little bit hard to tell. I was kind of looking at that lower curve to see if there might have been doubling on that lower curve, but that appears to be a little hit on the coin. I'm not really seeing anything doubled on the mint mark. So we're going to skip this obverse and move on to the reverse and take a look at it. I will be looking at all of these coins again after the reveal is finished. So I go back through them again. I make sure that I've got all of the die varieties out. I make sure that I've got all of the error coins out. Anything needs to be annotated gets annotated. I make a new flip insert. If it happens to be a coin that I need to photograph for the Coppercoins website, which will be a new version of the website eventually, then I will, of course, give you a plate coin designation on your flip insert. And if you send that into Annex, they'll put that on there for you. Okay, we're going to try coin number 8 here. It's going to be Adam Chambers. Adam Chambers will get coin number 8. Let's take a look at it. Oh, there we go. Bam. Sometimes these things are just cute. Look at that. I got to zoom in on that one just for posterity's sake. It's like, this thing's just awesome. Look at that. Do we see stuff like that often? Answer, no. That is really nice. This one actually looks like it is a... it's tilted. Because what I'm seeing is the upper on the top half looks like it's to the west, and the upper on the bottom half is also to the west. So this is an S over S east, as it appears. This one's going to be one of the higher number, one of the low numbers, is what I'm trying to say. It appears as though, trying to use Variety Vista here to help me out. Yeah. This one, no, it's not RPM number 1. It's not 2, it's not 3. Not 4 or 5. It could be number 1. It'd just be bad images that I'm looking at here. Yeah. Yeah, this is RPM number 1. Let's check it for markers real quick. Go to a later dice date here. See that the markers exist that he's saying are on there. You're going to be looking for a die crack over the VDB, which we do have a die crack over the VDB. Let me move it out so we can actually do marker mode, because I think we're doing molecular level mode here. There we go. So we do have a die crack over the VDB. We should have, yep, mark inside the lower lapel. We should have a die crack on the forehead. We do. So this is indeed RPM number 1. We're going to have a large die dot above the S of states. Okay, well, we don't win them all, right? This is a later dice date, evidently. Yeah. So being that it's a later die state, it looks like they changed the reverse die or polished it. Let's look for that one last marker, which I don't see. So this one evidently is going to be a stage... Nah. Man, these are hard. It looks like it's probably stage E. So it is an awesome RPM. And oddly enough, it is our 5th different RPM for the day. 5th different RPM for the day, and we're only on 8 coins. This is nuts. I love it, but it's nuts. Hey, let's move on to coin 9. Coin 9's going to silver nitrate. Coin 9 for silver nitrate. Let me put his name out there real quick. And get coin 9 out there so we can see what's on it. This one is... It's another one of those slightly more minor East RPMs. I do believe. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm getting RPM... I'm getting RPM junk drunk here. Let's see. I see RPMs when I sleep, so I'm not thinking that we're actually seeing anything there. Okay, zoom back out. What were we saying over there? JOB, 5 different RPM. How many presses are going once at a minute? A lot of times in the rolls you can find up to 7, 8, 9 different dies. So far I think we've hit 6 or 7 different dies. I see the other thing is though, sometimes, especially at the branch mints, they would collectively put hoppers of coins together before they bagged them. And it could be 2 hoppers from 2 different days, so you could have 12, 13, 14 different presses inside of one roll. Hello, Bill. Okay, so that one turned out to be a nothing, but we have to expect those once in a while, right? And coin number 10 will go to Joe McBride. Let's see what coin number 10 provides us. There we go. There is a repeat of a die. We have definitely seen this die before. Now it's just to remember which one it was. This has got that die scratch that comes up out of the 9-5 and has a hard stop. And then it's got the, said the Hannibal Lecter cage over his mouth. So yeah, this one's an East RPM. It's an S over S East. It's a nice one. Check one more time. Make sure we don't have any doubling on either side of the coin. And then take a look at this side and see what we've got here for grade and otherwise. A few little stains. It's got a nice choice to gem uncirculated coin here, though. And that was for Joe McBride. Let me check the coin that I do believe will match this one. I think it's die number 3 for the day. I do not know how I do this, but yes, it matches this coin, which was die number 3 for the day. Coin number 5, which belonged to Paul Hampton. So Paul Hampton and Joe McBride are RPM brothers now. And moving right along to the next one goes to Joe McBride. And what does Joe McBride get this time? And this time, Joe McBride will get what appears to be a slightly weakly punched regular mint mark. The lower part of it's a little bit weak. And let's see. A pretty average roll. It's not a gem roll. It's a decent roll, though. I wouldn't throw it back. Makes for a good RPM meal for all of us. And nothing on that side either. So we have a normal coin for Joe. Second one out. And this was coin number 11. And coin number 12. Coin number 12, we'll go to silver nitrate. I promise everybody else, their coins are going to run out eventually. I mean, we've only got so many strips for each person, right? Let's see. Oh, there we go. Another big RPM. This one has a hit in the lower mint mark. I don't remember seeing this die before. I don't quite remember this one. I'm getting no help from anything I'm seeing. tell me that I've actually seen this before. So I'm going to set it aside because I know it's an RPM. I just don't know which one. So I will do a RPM comparative analysis later. Big giant scientific name for comparing them and to make sure that I've got one matching the other. It's kind of like a ballistics comparison. You're just matching up bullet to bullet to make sure that they came out of the same gun. And in case you guys didn't know, I am a very huge proponent on the idea that doing this die variety stuff is definitely a forensic science. Okay, we got coin number 13 on the way. Coin number 13 will belong to Deanne. I'm marking these with the coin number on the back before I flip the names over because I don't have any inserts for this one yet. Won't be any special inserts on this one. Ooh, there we go. This is a die number 2. Die number 2 for the day. Should have heavy downstrokes out of the E and the R. Yeah. No, this was die number 3. It's an east because it has that little, you see that little thing on the inside of the mint mark. Upper inside of the mint mark. You can see that little thing going to the east. I'm going to do that right. It's right there. Can't you see it? It's right there. It looks like an east and west. Could be a triple mint mark. And there we go. Now I got to get out my die number 2 for the day. Take a quick look at it and see if it's the same thing. This was my die number 2 for the day. I have to focus to it. Okay. I lose. Not the same die. This one will go to die number 4 for the day. I think. Die number 4. Nope, not that one either. Is it die 1 for the day? Nope. Not that one either. Sometimes this stuff just gets confusing. Here's die number 5 for the day. It's not that one. This is RPM 1. Okay. Well, Deanne has created a mystery for us. Coin number 13. I'm going to flip it over and take a look at the reverse real quick and see what the reverse looks like. See if we've got any error stuff going on the reverse. Got to refocus it. There we go. A little bit of refocusing never hurt anybody. Got nothing notable going on the reverse. Jeff Stanley, appreciate it, brother. It is a very cool roll. Sometimes I wish I had bought into some of these rolls, but I don't. I think it's a conflict of interest. Next will be Eric Beyer. Eric Beyer will get coin number 14. Not seeing any doubling on this one, but it is a very nice looking coin. A little die crack on the head. It's a pretty lustrous looking coin. It has a little bit of that slight orangish color to it. It's really pretty. Nothing else going on there. I might actually end up going to Atlanta. Not sure. I need to talk talk with a couple of people before I make a decision, but I'm actually thinking about going to Atlanta. Stephen Elliott. Stephen Elliott will get coin number 15. And there's his name. I'll have to stay in touch with you on that because of, what is it, 2 weeks from now, a week from now, 2 weeks from now? I might actually go. I don't know. This is another normal coin. I do remember the mint mark on this one. This was our first die that we pulled out of the roll. It was not an RPM. Not a double die. 2 weeks. I may have time to prep for that and actually make it down there. I don't know. We'll see. I may ride down there with a buddy. Just have to make a couple of phone calls and see that we're good for something like that. Coin number 15 is out of the way. Now coin number 16 goes to Marshall. Marshall gets coin number 16. Let's see what it is. Another RPM. This is that one that's got that hard stop. So it's an East RPM. It's a pretty nice RPM. It's got the Hannibal Lecter mouth. A little cage over the mouth. There you go. I have such graphic ways of describing my coins. A lot of north and south die scratches on the reverse. It is a relatively early die, though. Since it's an early mid-die state. Paula, you have a fabulous day. I get Marshall's coin here, stuck off to the side. That was die number 3, I do believe, wasn't it? Yes. Die number 3 for the day. So, Marshall becomes brothers with Paul Hampton and Joe McBride. So, they're all RPM brothers. So, you guys need to spit on your hands and shake. And Silver Nitrate pulls out coin number 17. Silver Nitrate with coin number 17, AGNO3, which is the scientific notation for the chemical compound silver nitrate. Hey, look at that. There's another nice one. Another nice RPM. This roll is loaded. Full of RPMs here. So many RPMs I can't keep count of which die is which. This is the one with the heavy striations in the lower part of the coat on the design. Let's see if I can remember which one. I think that's number 4. If I'm correct. I think it was number 4. 4 or 5. I'm going to go with 4. I'm either forgetful or I'm really good. Which one is it? This is die number 4 here. And it matches. 'Tis a match. 'Twas a monster match. Alright. So this is going to be coin number 17. Goes to Silver Nitrate. And Silver Nitrate is going to be an RPM brother, because this is a second example of this particular die that I found. Guess with whom? Silver Nitrate gets 2 examples of this RPM. I don't know if that's lucky or not lucky. Hello, Jeff Dunn. Okay, Mr. Fletcher is going to get coin number 18. And Mr. Fletcher, let's take a look at coin number 18 and see what we get. It is an RPM, I can tell that already by the thickness. This is going to be a... I know we've seen this die. think this is die number 1. Or is it not? I'll have to... I'm just going to start sticking these off to the side. I can't remember which die is which anymore. This one's definitely an RPM. It's a lower split serif. You can see the split in the lower part there. I believe it's die number 1 for the day. Let's take a look. Nope, doesn't match. Not a match. How about die number 5? Is that a match? It was a match. It was a monster match. Okay, we're going to go by this little patch of die scratches. No, wait a minute. No, this is RPM number 1. Was it number 2? No, not number 2. Okay. Well, we're going to have to quit playing this game and just move on with stuff. I don't remember which die this is, but I know I've seen it. Let's take a look at the reverse of this one, see if there's anything error-wise that we need to be discussing. And so far, I don't see anything. Slightly weak strike, that's why you have the weakness on the top of the O of 1. And nothing else do I see. So Mr. Fletcher will get a nice RPM that I'm going to put off to the side. And that's coin number 18. Now coin number 19. Coin number 19 will go to J.O.B. J.O.B., which does not stand for job. J.O.B. are his initials. I wish I had initials that actually spelled something. Or that you could say my initials, you know, something that was... I knew a guy one time... Got my dog scratching at my door. I knew a guy one time, he was an artist. And his name was Rick Calhoun. And to use his initials, RC, kind of, you know, RC is like remote control. There's a little bit of a Woody going on here, a little lamination issue. So, what he did when he signed his artwork is, there we go. Hey, look at that. There's some color on this one. Looks like a vein of silver. So instead of using Rick Calhoun or R. Calhoun or Rick C. or anything like that, he came up with a little name for himself. R-I-C-A-L. He signed everything Riccal. And it looked kind of cool. I just loved it. I didn't have any way of doing that with my name. I love that color. Really pretty color. How visible is that? That's quite visible to the naked eye. Very nice. Nice coin, J.O.B. So I don't call him Job. I just call him J.O.B. We haven't come up with a good one yet. We come up with little names for everybody. You mean that? It's mine? You sure you don't want it with the color on it? It's really cool. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Come on, buddy. Come here. Mama's going to let the dog in. Come here. There we go. There's Shermie. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. She got phone calls to make, so I'm taking care of him for now. But she left my door open, so he's just going to walk right back out of here. Just like he just now did. Coin number 20 will go to Eric Beyer. Coin number 20 to Eric Beyer. Hello, Mr. Hampton. Let's see what Eric Beyer ended up with here. Looks like we're going to end up with a normal coin. Unless there happens to be a double die we've not yet discovered. No, nothing here. Well, we can always hope, right? Hope is eternal. So far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 RPMs out of 20 coins. 11 RPMs out of 20 coins. Here's coin number 21. This goes to Deanne. Coin number 21 to Deanne. You can see my poor cutting job there. I was in a hurry. Got myself all rushed up. Not seeing anything here on this coin. I will, of course, be going through this entire roll at least one more time prior to shipping these coins out. So if there is an RPM here that I'm missing, don't fret. We'll find it. You're back for a little bit. We missed you. Nothing really there. So I'm going to take my sweet lady out for dinner this evening, I think. I think. All right. Deanne, coin number 21. Coin number 22. Oh, we are still above 50% RPMs. So Stephen Elliott gets coin number 22. Let's see what coin number 22 has to provide us. Yes, it is an RPM as it appears. Yeah, I think so. Looks like a S over S East. I can see it appears to be on the upper serif. Maybe it's not, though. No, okay, this angle shows me it's not. So once again, wishful thinking. We're still right at 50%. 22 coins, 11 RPMs. So if we're playing baseball here, we're still doing fantastic Hall of Fame level. Batting 500. Most ball players aren't batting 500 by the third game they play in. So let's see what's next. Shannon comes next. Shannon McCord. This is coin number 23 for Shannon McCord. Come on, let's get an RPM. There we go. There's an RPM. Nice little East RPM going on there. And I do believe this one's going to match die number 3 for the day. No, it's going to be a die number 4 for the day. Remember those marks? It's die number 4 for the day. Nice little East RPM. I like it. Love it. Want some more of it. If you don't know that reference, you don't have exposure to country music like I do. My wife likes it. So there we go. Coin number 23 goes to Shannon and will be an RPM. Here's coin number 24 to Marshall. Coin number 24 goes to Mr. Marshall. Let's see what Mr. Marshall gets. Oh. A heart sink. We're below 50% now. No, wait a minute. Are we below 50%? No, we're still at 50%. Right at 50%. That's right, because we've got 12 RPMs and 24 coins. 12 RPMs and 24 coins at present. And guess what we're going to do at the end of this coin? You're right, we're at coin number 24. We're going to a commercial break. See you in just a minute, folks. Be sure to check out and subscribe to Mantic Coins on YouTube, where host Shay Hoffmaster takes you through a fun-filled tour through numismatics to include coin auctions, educational videos, live roll hunts, and much more. Come join in the educational fun with Shay. Search Mantic Coins on YouTube and subscribe today. The best in online auctions just got better. Now you can enjoy Coin Night live auctions twice weekly with the addition of CNLA Weekend Edition with your host, Jessica Johnson. All the same excitement and the same great deals with a new host and at a new time. Come join in the fun this weekend. And we're back. The commercial had a cud, did it? Was it the commercial that had a cud, or did it have a cud in it? All right, here we go. Back onto the track. Coin number 25 will go to Mr. Matting. Coin number 25 to Matting. Hello, Wild Bill. And this one appears not to be an RPM. It is quite a stained looking coin. Not the nicest. I always hope for better. Did you see a 39D RPM number 1 in the commercial? I don't know, Jessica. There might have been one in there. So, what is it that makes 39D RPM number 1 stand out to you right now? Get Matting's coin in a holder here. And move on for coin number 26 will be Eric Bayer. Let's check out coin number 26. What do you say? Here we go. And we have an RPM. It is a nice RPM. This one is... I don't even know. I know we've seen it, but I don't know which one it is. I am so confused. This is die number 4 for the day. That's what that one is. There we go. Got a 1939D RPM number 1 coming up in the auction this Sunday, 3 o'clock Eastern Time, with your host, Jessica Johnson, right here on the Coppercoins channel. I'm getting better at this stuff. I'm actually succeeding at coming up with a good hook and saying something without stumbling all over myself. How's that sound? All right, next coin goes to Shannon. Shannon will get the next coin. That's going to be which one? Number 27. Coin number 27 goes to Shannon. Let's see what's on it. Another nice RPM. This one is another RPM 4 for the day. Die number 4 for the day. Pretty RPM. It'll be exciting getting to attribute all of these and figure out exactly which ones they are, but this one is kind of cool. It's a very nice one. Looking for anything error-wise to speak of on the reverse side of this coin. Nothing do I see on the reverse. So that's going to be Shannon's RPM, coin number 27. Put it over here with the other RPMs. Move on to the next coin. Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher gets coin number 28. 28 belongs to Mr. Fletcher. And what do we have here? Appears to be a nothing. Paul wants to bid on the coins now. So let's start bidding. Yes, Paul, it's too early. You can't bid until 3 o'clock on Sunday, when everybody else shows up to bid. That may not be a really bad idea, to set the minimums on an auction by actually running the items on a website or showing the items on a website and letting people do pre-bidding. That'd be kind of cool. Might give my website patrons the opportunity to bid early. Mr. Hampton. Mr. Hampton gets coin number 29. Let me go ahead and write a 29 on his flip here. There we go. Get Paul Hampton's coin number 29. Let's take a look and see what Paul Hampton gets for coin number 29. We need some more RPMs in this roll, and we do. We get one. This is another die number 4 for the day. Got those heavy die scratches running through the lower part of the jacket. This is a nice clean coin. So it looks like it's nearly gem. It's a choice gem coin. Nice luster, nice color. That is cool, folks. Cool, cool. That's coin number 29. It's going to match die number 4 for the day, and so far we have 5 examples of die number 4 for the day. Get silver nitrate, Shannon. Silver nitrate twice, Shannon, Eric Beyer, and Paul Hampton. All achieving nice examples of this RPM. All right, next we get Madding. Madding gets coin number 30. Madding, coin number 30. Let's take a look at it and see what we get. Another RPM. Love it. This is the one that I was calling a mystery die. Maybe I hadn't seen it before. I don't know. But we've got that really heavy die scratch coming. It's a diagonal to the 1, the date. So I'll put this in the bucket of deplorables and figure out where we're going with this. We're going to end up with a half roll of RPMs here, folks. This is awesome. Awesome sauce. Yes, I stole that from somebody I know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 out of 28. We are well above 50% again. 16 of 28. No, it's actually 16 of 30. Sorry, 16 of 30. And we have a winner for the roll for the wrapper itself. This one's going to go to Madding. There we go. Wrapper goes to Madding. And here is Madding's wrapper. It does have a little tear up here where it got a little bit here. Maybe this is better. There's a little tear up on that one side, but it's a very nice wrapper. I like it. I think it looks really cool. Got a good couple of days, did you? All right, let's see who's next. Who comes up next? Marshall. Mr. Marshall gets coin number 31. Let's take a look at coin number 31 and see what we have on it. Get another RPM. We're going to be getting close to 60% here. Do we have an RPM or no? It does not appear at this moment to be an RPM, but it could be. It is. It is an RPM. Look. I show you. Look. See that lower serif? That lower serif is split. I'll have to try to see if I can match that up to something. This does appear to be... You have to break the seal on the box first, right? I don't know which one this is, but it is an RPM. So we're going to put it off to the side as an RPM because we know that's what it is. And let's keep taking a look around to see what we can see. And we have nothing here. to speak of. But Marshall gets another RPM here. Now, because these are RPMs does not necessarily mean that they're going to be listed RPMs. They're just definitely RPMs. There is a possibility they could be too minor to list. But I don't think I've seen that so far today. Farm Dog gets coin number 32. Coin number 32, the next coin in the roll. And on coin number 32, we have... I do believe it's another RPM. I think it is another RPM. I'll put it off to the side along with the other RPMs. And folks, we're approaching 60% of this roll being RPMs. We're fast approaching that. We'll count them up at the end. But I do believe we're getting closer to 60% than we are to 50%. Hey, Farm Dog. Made it back. Shannon McCord gets the next coin. It's going to be coin number 33. Shannon's coin number 33 appears to be... nice coin. But not... let's see. This is an RPM. This is that RPM number 1 for the day. I do remember this one. We got that little die scratch coming up off the Y of Liberty. It should have a die crack across the hair. And it does. Right there. Die crack across the hair. It's my obligatory die crack across the hair. Let's take a look at the reverse first. Yes, well, Bill, I believe... no, you are not in on this one. I do not believe that you are. Let me go check my sheet real quick, and I can tell you. Dun, dun. You are not on this roll, Wild Bill. And let's see what we've got rest of this side of the coin. Then we're going to do our comparative analysis real quick and see if this is die number 1 for the day, which I do believe it is. And it should have a die scratch coming up off the top right side of the Y of Liberty. And let's see if it's indeed what we have. This is die number 1 for the day, for sure. It's not the same. Ah. Okay, Chucky's wrong again. It'll be die number 2 for the day, I believe. Yeah, die number 2 for the day. Okay, so I was off by 1. So this new coin here by Shannon makes Shannon Die Brothers with Joe McBride, who had our first example of this particular RPM, which we know of as die number 2 for the day, and we will later know what its actual number is. And let's pull for the next coin in the roll. We'll go to Marshall. That's coin number 34. Coin number 34 from Marshall reveals as a... drum roll, please. Oh, it's an RPM. That's a nice one. This is RPM 1. RPM number 1. So, yeah, that looks confused. This is die number 5 for the day, but it is RPM number 1. We've already ascertained that. We have a number of die scratches, die cracks running across the head. Die crack above the VDB. We've got a die scratch running across the lapel. We have a little patch of die scratches out in front of the one on the date over by the vest. And we've got one seriously messed up RPM. So this is die number 1. For us, it's die number 5 for the day because it's the 5th different RPM that we have found today. How'd the roll turn out so far? Yeah, pretty good. We are on coin number 34. And I believe out of the 34, probably 20 coins are RPMs. And a lot of them are nice RPMs. Just got 34 coins so far. 2 of them are RPM number 1. Eric Beyer. Eric Beyer gets coin number 35. Coin number 35 will be it's hard to tell if this one's an RPM because it's been mashed. Been mashed up a little bit. Center of the mint mark on this one is hit. So I'm not going to call it anything because even if it is an RPM, it's not really going to be collectible as an RPM because it's been messed up. But it looks like it could possibly be. It is, I think. Oh, it's hard to tell. Let's see. I'll have to look at this one under the microscope later and see if it indeed is an RPM because the mint mark has been messed up. A little hard to tell when the mint mark has been messed up. But Eric Beyer gets coin number 35, and I'm going to stick this one in the normal coin pile. We'll go back through it later. So for right now, I'm going to call it a normal coin. Marshall gets the next one. That's coin number 36 for the roll. And let's see what it is. Marshall gets an RPM number 1. Nice, clean looking coin, too. Very nice, higher end looking coin. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's RPM number 1. This is die number 5 for today. This is our 3rd example of this RPM. Let's take a look at the other side and see if we have anything error-wise to talk about. It's an interesting little thing. It almost looks like a slight bit of a planchet crack right there on the rim. But that could just be a hit. But it does appear to be possibly a small planchet crack. All right. There's Mr. Marshall's coin. Mr. Marshall's coin number 36 is an RPM number 5 on the day, or an actual RPM number 1. J.O.B. gets coin number 37. There's coin number 37 for J.O.B. Still no RPM. Not an RPM. Mama's on her way to get her hair done. See what we got going on here. Nothing. Nothing on that one. Coin number 37. All right, let's draw for coin number 38 and see what happens. Rudy Alfaro. This is his 1 coin for the roll. And Rudy's 1 coin for the roll comes out as, yay, it's an RPM. It's an RPM. This is another one of those, die number 4 for the day. It is the most populous RPM in this roll. It is. It's a very nice, productive roll. I'm very happy. Don't forget that we have a 1956 D roll coming up later on today. Perhaps we will continue that luck. Get ourselves into some really nice coins. I don't even want to see you, you traitor. You're all over your mama until she leaves, and then you're all over me. It's like you only love me when your mama's not around. Yeah. All right, so coin number 39. Coin number 39 goes to Mr. Fletcher. Wrote that on there upside down. Well, I'll get over it eventually. Maybe. Okay, coin number 39 is not an RPM. Not an RPM. It is a nice coin, though. Just not an RPM and not a double die. So Mr. Fletcher gets a nice 1950s Lincoln cent. And coin number 39. Drawing for coin number 40 is Sherman. And Joe McBride gets it. Why do you smell like you've been running around outside? Joe McBride, coin number 40. Let's take a look at it and see what it is. That is an RPM. Coin number 40 is an RPM. So now which die is it for us? I think I see an RPM. I'm pretty sure it's a lower split serif. I'll have to put it into my bucket of deplorables because I don't know which one it is. Yeah, it's a minor lower split serif. Get it stabilized here. What is going on with you, Chuck? You know what? It's just not enough. I'm just not seeing enough. Not seeing enough to call it. I'm not seeing any of the markers that I'm used to seeing for the different RPMs that we do have. So I'm thinking yes, I've seen this mark and it's on a normal coin, so I do remember that being on a normal coin. It could be a baby split, but man, I will be going through these again, so I'm not going to miss anything. It's just that this time around, I'm going to call this a normal coin because it's what it appears to be. Let me move on to the next one, coin number 41. Coin number 41 will go to Paul Hampton. And Mr. Hampton will get... appears to be another not an RPM. It is another not an RPM. Not a double die. Has some toning on it. A little bit of toning around the periphery of the coin. But nothing else. So that's for Paul Hampton. It's coin number 41. Let's pull another RPM here real quick. Well, how about Joe McBride? Coin number 42. Coin number 42 turns out to be... too close to call. It may be an RPM, but I doubt it. I think I've been calling other coins not of this particular die. Let's flip it over and see if we've got that same marker that we had on that other coin. We don't. It's not the same die as the other one that I saw. But it appears to have nothing on it. So there's one for Joe McBride. And coin number 43. Coin number 43 will go to Deanne. Coin number 43 to Deanne, and coin number 43 is... it's an RPM. This is RPM number 3 for the day. This is die number 3 for the day. I can remember that one because it has that real heavy, hard stop die scratch running north between the 9 and 5. Right there. Let's take a look and see if we've got any lamination, die cracks, or anything else on the reverse that we need to talk about. Nothing that I see other than the fact that it's got a lot of die scratches on it. And somebody was very abrasively scratching this die to get something off the die. This one's a nice example of die number 3 for the day. And the next person to get one's going to be Mr. Fletcher. Mr. Fletcher gets coin number 44. Coin number 44 looks like this. It appears to not be an RPM. No RPM for coin number 44. It is also not a double die. There's a little bit of a coin counter issue. Got clipped a little bit when it was going into the counter. Alright, so that's coin number 44. Let's take a look at coin number 45. 45 belongs to Chuck Daughtrey. Have we not pulled his name yet today? How many did he get? He only get 2 or 3? That is a nice RPM. That is an RPM. This is going to be that other one that I have been calling a mystery RPM because I didn't assign a number to it, I don't think. So I'll set it onto the side. And it's going to go with the other mystery RPMs that had a heavy diagonal die scratch next to the one of the date. I do remember this die. I know we've run into it a few times. Definitely not the first time for this one. And Mr. Patillo gets this example of it. And next will be Shannon. I see coin number 46. Coin number 46 belongs to Shannon McCord. Let's take a look and see what we get. This one appears to be so is RPM, I think. One of those ones is a little difficult to see. Maybe. Yeah, I'm thinking no. Well, this does have the die scratches coming south out of the E and the RT. Now remember, I think that was an RPM listing that we were looking at. If it is an RPM, it's going to be the lower serif, but I just don't see it right now. I'm going to skip this one for right now for the purpose of our numbers, but I will look at it again, that's for sure, before it gets shipped out. And so we're going to call this one a nothing for now. And it's going to go to Shannon. That's coin number 46. Let's look at coin number 47. Hey, bug! Coin number 47 will also go to Shannon. This was a nice split lower serif RPM. This is... Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to say this one's probably die number 1 for the day. I do believe this is an example of the same RPM that we pulled out as the very first RPM for today. It had that die scratch going from the chin, it goes from the chin south to just west of the 1. So I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 die scratches that are parallel running between the bow tie and the 1. And then I see a lower split serif RPM. Okay, so now that we know what we're looking for, let's grab that coin. This was die number 1 for the day. And see if we have a matchup. Yep, we do. A die scratch running south from the chin. I see 1, 2, 3, 4 die scratches that are parallel with one another in that same area. So, silver nitrate and Shannon are going to be RPM brothers. This is what? Coin number 47. It's coin number 47. Get it into a flip here for Shannon. I think you guys will be pleased with the quality of these coins. I mean, most of them look pretty nice. Some of them aren't so great. Most of them look pretty nice, though. Okay, so what did I do here? I had to have put a name with every coin. I got 3 coins left and only 1 name. Let me check to see if anything fell. Hang on just a second. Sherman, move. Move. I did. I had 2 names fall underneath my paper cutter. I'll stick those in there and put Mr. Fletcher's name back in there. And I'll shake them up and I'll pull one out of here. Bug took your phone while you were blow drying your hair. Okay. Eric Beyer gets this one. This is coin number 48. Coin number 48 will go to Eric Beyer. And I can get it focused in here. And what I'm seeing is a nothing for coin number 48. Let's flip it over here. Take a look at the other side. And I see nothing over here. So moving along, we'll go on to coin number 49. Oops. 48, Eric Beyer. 49 will be Mr. Fletcher. And this one appears to not be an RPM. Yeah. We got nothing here. That's coin number 49 now for the last coin in the roll, and the roll ender. I'll write number 49 on here. Number 49 on Mr. Fletcher's name. And on to coin number 50, which will be the last coin of the roll. And we have Adam Chambers. This one does have quite a spotty obverse. It is an RPM. It's a spotty coin, though. That is a very strange appearance. Looks almost like reading. That is very weird. I had no idea what that is. It's like they had some sort of a grease or oil or something that it was striking through. A little scratched up. It is an RPM, though. Let's take a look at the other side. See what we get on the other side. None of those weird marks on the reverse. They're still on the obverse. That's different. Dog needs his ears cleaned. Hey! Pay attention to something else. Focus. All right, so we do have an RPM there. That's going to be coin number 50. So we have all the coins accounted for. Now let's count. Let's run a count and see what we end up with. The ones I couldn't immediately identify. We have 9 of them. And then we have 3 and 6. There's another 9. That's 18. 22, 24, 26. We're over 50%. There's 26 coins out of this roll that I've found so far were RPMs. So we got 24 coins that are not RPMs, and that's what we ended up with. That was a good roll, folks. I gotta give my dog a chance to say hi. Hang on just a minute. He's gonna want to say hi. There we go. Germ. Hi. Who is that? Who is that? Say hi. Say hi. Say hi, buddy. Okay, that's good enough. That's a good boy. Yeah, that's a good boy. Oh, yeah, we had a great roll. It was a great roll. I really enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. We have another reveal coming up at 4 o'clock. That's going to be about an hour and 15 minutes from now. I'm going to try to make it back before then, but I'm going to go to an appointment between then and now and then. So if I don't make it back in time, please be patient with me. You have a number of things I'm trying to take care of all at once. And with that having been said, I think I'm going to go ahead and take off now just so that I can try to get to my appointment and get back in time. But I definitely appreciate it. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you very much for being with me. Experiencing this wonderful roll with Sherman and I. We're going to do a 1956 D roll a little bit later on today. I'll talk to you later, folks.